The spotlight sliced through the haze of the concert hall like a knife through fog, catching the pianist's fingers mid-flight over the keys. In that frozen instant, Jackson Harlan's heart slammed against his ribs, not from the music, but from the face illuminated beneath it. Logan, alive, unchanged, pouring his soul into a melody that echoed the one they'd whispered under summer stars 20 years ago. God, no, Jackson breathed, his champagne flute slipping from numb fingers to shatter on the marble floor, the crash lost in the crescendo, as the ghost of his first love rose from the grave he'd buried him in. The shards of crystal glittered like fallen stars under the chandeliers of Carnegie Hall. But Jackson didn't bend to pick them up. His world had narrowed to the stage, to the man whose hands, those long, elegant fingers he'd once traced in the dark, danced across the Steinway with a ferocity that bordered on fury. Logan's hair, still that wild mop of chestnut waves, fell into his eyes as he leaned into the keys, his body swaying like a willow in a storm. The program said Logan Everett, guest soloist. But to Jackson, it was a resurrection. He'd mourned him, grieved him as dead in every way that mattered, after the letter arrived all those years ago. I'm gone. Don't look for me. It's better this way. 20 years. Jackson was 42 now, a titan in Manhattan's hedge fund jungle, his penthouse overlooking Central Park a fortress of glass and steel. He'd built an empire on calculated risks, on outmaneuvering rivals with a smile that hid the shark beneath. But this was no deal he could close. His first love, the boy who taught him what it meant to burn for someone, was here, breathing the same recycled air, oblivious to the man unraveling in row 3. The piece ended, a stormy rendition of Rachmaninoff's Piano Concerto No. 2, and the applause thundered like Judgment Day. Jackson clapped mechanically, his palms stinging, as Logan rose, bowing with that same crooked smile that had once made his knees weak. Their eyes met then, across the sea of upturned faces, and time fractured. Logan's brow furrowed, a flicker of recognition, then shock. He scanned the crowd as if doubting his own senses, but Jackson was already moving, weaving through the throng toward the stage door. His tailored Tom Ford suit suddenly too tight, too confining. Backstage was a labyrinth of cables and harried assistants, the air thick with the scent of rosin and sweat. Jackson flashed his donor's badge, perks of dropping 7 figures on the orchestra's endowment, and a young intern waved him through. Mr. Harlan, thrilled you could make it, she chirped, but he barely heard her. His pulse roared in his ears as he rounded the corner, and there he was. Logan, shrugging off his tails, wiping his forehead with the back of his hand. Logan! The name hung between them, a bridge or a noose. Logan froze, his green eyes, God, those eyes, like emeralds flecked with gold, widening. Jack! It was a whisper, raw and ragged, as if the word had clawed its way out. He stepped back, bumping into the piano bench, his composer's hands trembling. Jack Harlan? Is that you? Jackson closed the distance in 2 strides, gripping Logan's shoulders. Not hard, but firm enough to ground them both. Up close, the changes were stark. Fine lines etched around his eyes from laughter or loss, a faint silver threading his temples, the leanness of someone who'd known hunger beyond the metaphorical. But the scent, clean soap and faint citrus cologne, hit Jackson like a freight train, yanking him back to dusty backroads in rural Ohio, to stolen kisses in the cab of a '92 Ford pickup. What the hell are you doing here? Logan's voice cracked, a mix of awe and accusation. He shrugged off Jackson's hands, but not before Jackson felt the heat of him, the solidity. You vanished. You got out, built this life, and now you show up like some ghost at my gig. Me? Jackson laughed, a bitter bark that echoed off the dressing room walls. You wrote that letter, Logan. Don't look for me. I tore the damn town apart searching for you. Hired PIs called every conservatory from here to LA. They said you were dead, overdosed, they whispered, or worse. And I believed it because what else could explain why you'd leave without a fight? Logan's face crumpled, the color draining as he sank onto the bench. The room spun for Jackson, memories flooding in unbidden. The summer of '03, Two 17-year-olds in Millfield, Ohio, a speck on the map where cornfields stretched like golden oceans and secrets festered in the church pews. They'd met in Mr. Hargrove's AP Lit class, Logan the new kid from Cleveland with a scholarship to the local academy, Jackson the golden boy quarterback with a future mapped out by his father's steel mill legacy. One shared cigarette behind the bleachers turned into late-night drives to the quarry, where they'd talk dreams, Logan's of Juilliard, Jackson's of escaping the Rust Belt for Wall Street, until the talking gave way to touches, tentative at first, then desperate. That first kiss under a harvest moon had sealed them. "You're my forever," Logan had murmured against Jackson's lips. His fingers tangled in Jackson's hair, and Jackson had believed it. Even as the world closed in, whispers in the locker room, his father's Bible-thumping rages, Logan's own fractured family with a mother lost to pills and a father who drank to forget. They'd planned to run to New York where no one cared who loved whom. But then the letter came, slipped under Jackson's door the night before graduation, and Logan was gone by dawn. "I didn't write it," Logan said now, his voice barely audible over the distant hum of the crowd. "Jack, I swear. I woke up in a motel in Pittsburgh with nothing but my duffel and a note in my pocket. Not my handwriting. It said if I came back, they'd hurt you. Your dad. He found out. Hired some lowlife to scare me off. I thought you'd be safer without me dragging you down." Jackson's knees buckled. He dropped to one knee before Logan, searching his face for the lie, finding only truth mirrored back. Pain, regret, the same hollow ache he'd carried like a stone in his chest. "All these years," Jackson whispered, "I thought I'd failed you, that I wasn't enough to make you stay." Logan's hand cupped Jackson's cheek, thumb brushing the scar from a long-ago football mishap. "You were everything. That's why I stayed away. I clawed my way to gigs, to this, thinking if I made it big enough, I could come back without the baggage. But you're a stranger now, Jack. A rich man in a suit with a life I don't fit into." The intern knocked then, shattering the moment. "Mr. Everett, encore in 5. Logan stood, pulling Jackson up with him, their hands lingering too long. "Meet me after? The Oak Room, midnight. We need to talk. Really talk." Jackson nodded, throat tight. As Logan vanished into the wings, the music swelled again. A tender adagio that twisted the knife deeper. He stumbled out into the night, the Manhattan chill biting through his overcoat, but it was nothing compared to the fire reigniting in his veins. Logan was alive, and with him came the unraveling of every wall Jackson had built. The cab ride to his penthouse was a blur of neon and honking horns, the city that never sleeps mocking his insomnia. He poured a Scotch neat, pacing the floor-to-ceiling windows, the skyline a jagged crown of lights. What now? Logan, the boy who'd been his son, his storm, reappeared as a man forged in the same fires. But Jackson's life was a fortress. Board meetings, a string of discreet affairs that never touched his heart, a charity foundation that papered over the guilt of his climb. Could there be room for this, for them? Midnight loomed like a deadline. He dressed with care. Not the power suit, but a cashmere sweater and slacks, something softer, more like the kid from Millfield. The Oak Room was a jazz haunt in the Algonquin, all velvet booths and low amber light. Logan was already there when Jackson arrived, nursing a gin and tonic at a corner table, his fingers drumming an absent rhythm on the glass. "You came," Logan said, standing to pull out Jackson's chair, a courtly gesture that tugged at old affections. "Wouldn't miss it." Jackson slid in, their knees brushing under the table, a spark that made him shift. The band crooned a Sinatra standard, "The Way You Look Tonight," and Jackson had to look away from the vulnerability in Logan's gaze. They ordered, steak for Jackson, pasta for Logan, and the words tumbled out in fits and starts. Logan spoke of the years in between. Busking in subways, crashing on friends' couches, a breakthrough recital in Chicago that led to orchestras, then Europe. "I changed my name halfway through. Everett was my mom's maiden. Thought it'd bury Logan Hayes for good." No mention of lovers, Jackson noted, and he didn't pry. His own tale was drier. Yale MBA, Wall Street wunderkind, the Harlan Fund topping Forbes lists. Dad disowned me when I came out, Jackson admitted over coffee. After you left, I confronted him. He called me an abomination, cut me off cold. Funny how losing everything made me unbreakable. Logan's eyes darkened. I'm sorry. I should have fought harder. You did what you thought was right. Jackson reached across, covering Logan's hand with his own. The touch was electric, a current pulling them under. But I'm done burying it. Logan, seeing you tonight is like waking up after drowning. The check came, and with it, hesitation. Outside, snow flurried down Fifth Avenue, blanketing the chaos in white. My place? Logan asked, voice husky. Jackson nodded, hailing a cab to Logan's modest walk-up in the village, worlds away from his own eyrie. But home felt like this. Cluttered sheet music on the piano, books stacked like Jenga towers, the faint echo of their youth. They didn't kiss that night. Sat on the worn leather couch, shoulders touching, sharing stories until dawn pinked the sky. Laughter mixed with tears, the betrayal not of each other, but of the forces that tore them apart. As Logan dozed against him, Jackson whispered into the quiet, I never stopped loving you. And in the soft light, he believed in second acts. Weeks blurred into a tentative rhythm, like the opening bars of a sonata, hesitant, building. Jackson found excuses to linger after Logan's rehearsals. A coffee run to the corner deli, where he'd watch Logan sip espresso black, lips curving around the cup in a way that still stole his breath. Evenings where there's alone, stolen from schedules that clashed like cymbals. Jackson's world of high-stakes deals softened at the edges. He'd cancel dinners with investors for quiet walks along the Hudson. Logan's arm looped through his, the city lights dancing on the water like fireflies. You're spoiling me? Logan teased one crisp November night. As they bundled against the wind in Bryant Park, Jackson had surprised him with tickets to the holiday market. Mulled wine and twinkling lights, a far cry from Millfield's county fair. Caviar dreams on a ramen budget. Get used to it. Jackson pulled him closer, their breaths mingling in white puffs. It was the closest they'd come to public affection. A subtle claim in a city that pretended tolerance but still whispered. Jackson's hand found the small of Logan's back, thumb tracing the dip of his spine through wool. You deserve the world, Lo. Always did. Logan's laugh was low, self-deprecating. Says the man who bought half of Midtown. What's next? A private jet to Paris for croissants. Tempting. But beneath the banter, shadows lingered. Jackson caught Logan staring at his phone sometimes, thumb hovering over unsent texts, old habits from a life of guarded solitude. And Jackson's own demons stirred. Voicemails from his assistant about the upcoming gala, where donors expected the eligible bachelor Harlan to charm and schmooze, preferably with a woman on his arm for optics. The first real fracture came over Thanksgiving. Jackson's foundation hosted its annual fundraiser at the Plaza, black tie affair with auction paddles and champagne towers. Come with me, he'd urged Logan over breakfast in bed. Pancakes from the corner spot, syrup sticky on their fingers. As my plus one. No hiding. Logan had paused, fork midway to his mouth, eyes distant. Jack, it's not that simple. Your world, the sharks in tuxes. And me? I'm the chum. You're the best part of me. Jackson set down his coffee, leaning in to press a kiss to Logan's temple, lingering in the scent of his hair. We faced worse in Ohio. Remember the bonfire? When Tommy Reynolds called us fags and you decked him? A grin cracked Logan's reserve. Broke my damn hand. Worth it. He relented, but the unease clung like damp fog. The gala was a whirlwind of crystal and clinking glasses. Jackson in bespoke Armani, Logan elegant in a borrowed velvet jacket that hugged his frame just right. Heads turned as they entered arm in arm, whispers rippling like pond stones. Who's the musician? Harlan's new arm candy? Jackson ignored them, guiding Logan to the bar, ordering Manhattans with extra cherries. They danced once, a slow waltz to Moon River, Logan's head on Jackson's shoulder, the world fading to their shared breath. This feels like a dream, Logan murmured, fingers tight on Jackson's waist. It's real. Jackson promised. We're real. But dreams crack under scrutiny. Midway through, Victor Lang, Jackson's oldest rival, a silver-haired viper who'd clawed his way to partner at a competing firm, sidled up, flute in hand. Harlan, you sly dog, bringing your little secret to the party. Bold move in this crowd. Logan's grip tightened, but Jackson stepped forward, voice steel. Victor's harmless, low. Just jealous he can't get a date without paying. Lang's laugh was oily. Touché. But seriously, Jack, your board's buzzing. That merger with Kensington? They want stability, not scandals. Think about it. He winked at Logan, slinking away like smoke. The rest of the night soured. Logan withdrew, polite smiles masking the flinch, excusing himself early with a migraine. In the cab home, silence stretched taut. He's right, you know, Logan finally said, staring out at the blurring lights. I'm a liability. You worked too hard to let some small-town pianist tank your rep. Stop. Jackson cupped his face, forcing eye contact. You're not a scandal. You're my heart. And if they can't handle that, they can find another fund manager. Logan leaned into the touch, but doubt lingered in his eyes. I want to believe you. God, I do. They made love that night. Not the frantic passion of youth, but something deeper, slower, hands mapping scars and stories. Afterward, tangled in sheets, Logan traced Jackson's collarbone. Promise me we're in this. No half measures. All in, Jackson whispered, sealing it with a kiss. But as Logan slept, Jackson lay awake, Lang's words gnawing like termites. The merger was his crown jewel, billions on the line. Could he risk it all again? December brought snow and secrets. Logan's tour schedule ramped up. A recital in Boston, another in Philly, leaving gaps Jackson filled with work, burying vulnerability in spreadsheets. One night, alone in his office overlooking the tree-lit park, his phone buzzed. An anonymous email, subject, for your eyes only. Attached was a grainy photo, Logan, younger, arm around a dark-haired man in a Berlin cafe, time-stamped 5 years back. He's playing you, Harlan. Been around the block. Ask about Elias. Jealousy hit like vertigo, but Jackson deleted it, chalking it up to Lang's pettiness. Still, the seed took root. When Logan returned, flushed from travel, Jackson's welcome was cooler. Questions slipping out over dinner. Good crowds. Decent. Missed you. Logan's foot nudged his under the table, playful. Who's Elias? The name dropped like a stone. Logan's fork paused. An old friend. Cello player. We toured together Europe a few years. Why? Just. Heard the name. Jackson shrugged, heat rising. Wondered if there's more. The air chilled. Jack. If you're asking if I cheated. No. Forget it. But the damage was done, trust fraying at the edges. Christmas Eve found them at Rockefeller Center. The tree a glowing behemoth, skaters gliding below. Logan pulled Jackson into the crowd, their gloved hands linked. Remember our first Christmas? That crappy tree from the gas station lot. Jackson chuckled, the memory thawing him. Needles everywhere. You played Oh Holy Night on that out-of-tune keyboard till Maud next door threatened to call the cops. Best gift was you. Logan tugged him under the mistletoe. Makeshift. A sprig from a vendor. Their kiss was soft, public, defiant. Cheers erupted from strangers. A chorus of acceptance that mended a little. But betrayal brewed in shadows. New Year's, Jackson's assistant slipped him a dossier. Hired by the board. Just due diligence for the merger. Pages on Logan, conservatory records, gigs, and there it was, a brief engagement to Elias Voss ended amicably 2 years in. He never told you, the note read, anonymous again. Rage boiled as confetti fell in Times Square. Logan's arm around him amid the countdown. Happy New Year, love, Logan shouted over the roar. Jackson smiled through gritted teeth. The lie burning. Why hide it? Was he still the fragile boy from Ohio, afraid of breaking them? The confrontation came in January, snowstorm raging outside Logan's apartment. Jackson arrived soaked, dossier in hand. Engaged? To some cellist? And you didn't think to mention it. Logan's face fell, comprehension dawning. Jack, it was ancient history. Over before it started, bad timing, distance. I didn't want to drag up ghosts when we're building something new. Building on lies. Jackson hurled the papers, pages scattering like accusations. You think I can't handle your past? Or is it me you're protecting? From myself. It's us. Logan yelled, voice breaking. Every time I open up, you pull back. That gala, the email, it's eating you alive. I love you, Jack. Past tense, present, future. But if you can't trust that. The storm howled, mirroring the one inside. Jackson stormed out, cab vanishing into whiteout, leaving Logan silhouetted in the doorway, a lone figure against the fury. Days turned to weeks of radio silence, Jackson drowning in boardroom battles, the merger teetering. Logan canceled a joint dinner, then another. Whispers from assistants. Mr. Everett's taking a sabbatical. Europe, indefinite. On a gray afternoon, Jackson found himself at the piano bar where they'd first reconnected post-concert. The ivory's silent, dust motes dancing in sunbeams. He sat, fingers clumsy on the keys, plunking out the melody from that first night. Chopin's Nocturne, halting, heartfelt. A barback found him there hours later, head on arms. Closing soon, sir. Jackson left 100 on the bar, stumbling into the dusk. His phone buzzed. Logan. We need to talk. One last time. Lincoln Center tomorrow. My farewell recital. Farewell. The word gutted him. As night fell over the city, Jackson realized the truth. Love wasn't a merger to negotiate. It was a leap, blind and bruising. And he'd almost lost it twice. Lincoln Center loomed like a coliseum of glass and stone, its fountains frozen sentinels under a brittle February sky. Jackson arrived early, ticket clutched like a talisman. The donor's box seat a hollow throne. The program was eclectic, Beethoven, Debussy, a world premiere by Logan himself. But Jackson's eyes sought only the man, not the music. Logan entered to thunderous acclaim, transformed. Hair slicked, suit midnight blue, but his smile was strained, eyes scanning the shadows as if seeking or fleeing. The first piece shattered Jackson. A sonata laced with dissonance, notes clashing like unspoken words. He saw their story in it. The harmony of youth, the fracture of loss, the tentative rebuild. By intermission, tears blurred the footlights. He slipped out, pacing the lobby, heart a war drum. Halftime crowd milled, but Jackson spotted him, Logan, cornered by a silver-haired patron. Victor Lang's doppelganger in charm. Everett, that premiere, brilliant, but risky, like Harlan's merger. All flair, no foundation. The man chuckled, clapping Logan's shoulder too familiarly. Logan stiffened, murmuring thanks, but his gaze lifted, locking on Jackson across the room. Time dilated. Jackson crossed the space in slow motion, the world fading to their orbit. A word, he said, voice rough. The patron melted away. Logan nodded, leading him to an alcove strung with fairy lights. You came. Couldn't not. Jackson's hands itched to touch, but he held back. The peace. It's us, isn't it? The storm, the silence. Logan's throat worked. Every note. I wrote it for you, even when I thought you'd never hear. He pulled a folded score from his pocket, edges worn. Here, echoes of Millfield. If this is goodbye. It's not. Jackson took the pages, fingers brushing Logan's, the contact a lifeline. I was wrong. The dossier, the jealousy. It's my fear, not your fault. Elias was your past. I'm your now, and I want forever. Logan's eyes glistened. But the merger? Your world. Screw the merger. Jackson's voice rose, drawing glances, but he didn't care. I pulled out this morning. Told the board if they can't accept me, all of me, they can find another shark. You're worth more than billions, Lo. You always were. The applause swelled for Act 2, but they stayed, foreheads pressed, breaths sinking. I love you, Logan whispered, the words a bomb. No more hiding. No more. Jackson echoed, sealing it with a kiss soft, then fierce. Right there in the alcove, the world be damned. The second half was catharsis. Music soaring, redeemed. Afterward, backstage thronged with fans, but Logan carved a path to Jackson, pulling him into the green room. Stay tonight. All of it. They did dinner at a hole-in-the-wall Italian in Hell's Kitchen, wine flowing like confessions. Logan spoke of Elias. A whirlwind of youth, ended in mutual respect, no betrayal. He was a chapter. You're the book. Jackson shared his own ghosts. Flings that were echoes, empty as hotel rooms. None touched what we have. It's you or nothing. Dawn found them in Jackson's penthouse, the city waking below. Logan at the baby grand Jackson had bought on impulse. A Steinway polished ebony. Played a gentle improv, Jackson humming along from the couch. Domesticity wrapped them like a quilt, fragile but warm. Spring unfurled tentative. The merger fallout hit headlines. Harlan walks. Scandal or statement? But Jackson's phone rang with support. Old Yale buddies coming out in solidarity. Donors doubling pledges for his foundation's LGBTQ youth program. Logan's tour extended stateside, joint appearances. Him at the keys, Jackson in the wings, their hands linked at curtain call. Yet conflict simmered. Insidious. A letter arrived at Jackson's office, postmarked Ohio. His father's scrawl, after 2 decades silent. Heard about your folly. That boy's poison. Come home, son. Make it right with God. Enclosed, a check, $5 million, for reparative therapy. Rage warred with grief. Jackson burned it in the penthouse sink. Flames licking the edges as Logan watched, silent. He'll never change, Logan said softly, pulling him close. But you did. That's enough. Not if it hurts you. Jackson's voice muffled in Logan's shirt. The press is digging old rumors from Millfield. What if they drag your name? Let them. Logan tilted his chin up. We're not boys hiding in pickups anymore. We're men, Jack. And our story? It's worth telling. The press did dig. A tabloid splash. Billionaire's secret past. Harlan's Ohio heartbreak. Photos from high school. Grainy yearbook shots. Logan's face pixelated but unmistakable. Hate mail flooded. Slurs, Bible verses, threats veiled as concern. Logan took it hardest, canceling a workshop. I won't let them touch you, he vowed. But his hands shook on the keys that night, notes faltering. Jackson countered with action. A gala for his foundation, theme Echoes unsilenced. Logan headlined, premiering their sonata. The house was packed. Friends, allies, even a few repentant board members. As Logan's fingers flew, Jackson stood backstage, pride swelling. This was humanism. Not perfection, but persistence. Midway, a heckler, some zealot from the heartland, shouted from the balcony, "Sinners, repent!" Security hauled him out, but the venom lingered. Logan paused, mid-phrase, eyes finding Jackson's. Then, defiant, he segued into a raucous jazz riff, crowd roaring approval. Encore. Their melody, pure and unbroken. After, in the dressing room, Logan collapsed against Jackson, spent. We did it. We, Jackson agreed, kissing his knuckles. But as they left, paparazzi swarmed, flashes blinding. A question cut through. Mr. Harlan, is this political suicide? Jackson stopped, Logan's hand in his. Love's never suicide. It's salvation. The quote went viral, a shield and a sword. Summer bloomed, their bond deepening roots. Weekends in the Hamptons, Jackson's borrowed beach house, waves crashing like applause. They cooked. Logan's risotto, Jackson's disastrous attempts at grilling. Nights under stars, echoing quarry talks, but now with wine and wisdom. One evening, bonfire on the sand, Logan pulled a box from his bag. Small, velvet. Not a proposal. Not yet. But remember this. Inside, the tarnished locket from their first summer, Logan's initial engraved beside Jackson's. Tears pricked. You kept it. Always. Logan fastened it around Jackson's neck. We're forever, Jack. No letters, no lies. Jackson drew him down to the blanket, the fire painting them gold. Marry me? Not for show. For us. Logan's yes was a sob, a laugh, a vow. They made plans. Small ceremony in Central Park, witnesses their chosen family. But autumn whispered warnings. Logan's agent called a European festival lucrative but clashing with the wedding. It's your big break, Jackson urged, masking envy. Go. We'll adjust. Logan hesitated. It's you or the notes, always has been. Both, Jackson insisted. I'm not clipping your wings. He went. 2 weeks in Salzburg. Jackson holding the fort with emails and calls. Miss your voice? Play that one for me? But distance bred doubt. A blurry photo online. Logan laughing with a young violinist, arm casual on her shoulder. Harmless, Jackson knew, but the old scar ached. Return brought reunion fever. Airport dash, kiss amid baggage claim chaos. But over dinner, Logan dropped the bomb. They offered a residency, Vienna, 2 years. Everything I dreamed. Jackson's fork stilled. And us? You. Here. Logan's eyes pleaded. But this is my Juilliard, Jack. The pinnacle. The argument erupted quiet, then volcanic. So I wait, again, while you chase glory. Jackson's voice cracked. I thought we were past ultimatums. It's not. Logan stood, chair scraping. It's life. Our life, yours built on risks, mine on recitals. Why can't you trust me to come back? Because last time you didn't. The words landed like blows, Millfield's ghost rising. Logan recoiled. That wasn't me leaving you. It was survival. He grabbed his coat. I need air. The door slammed, echoing in Jackson's chest. Alone, he poured bourbon, staring at the locket. Love was humanistic, yes, flawed, forgiving. But could it bend without breaking? Vienna called like a siren song, its spires and symphonies weaving through Logan's days. But his nights were haunted by the echo of that slammed door. From a cramped flat overlooking the Danube, he Skyped Jackson, faces pixelated but feelings raw. I'm sorry, Logan started each call, voice thick with jet lag. I panicked. You're not a chain. Jackson's smile was weary, the penthouse behind him a sterile backdrop. I know. It's just, history's a heavy bitch. They'd talk for hours. Logan's rehearsals, Jackson's foundation wins, patching the rift with words, but the ocean between them widened cracks. Back in New York by December, Logan dove into wedding prep. Invitations etched in silver, vows handwritten on sheet music. The ceremony was intimate, 20 guests in the Bethesda Terrace arcade. Snow dusting the arches like confectioner's sugar. Jackson in navy wool, Logan in charcoal. Their rings simple platinum bands engraved with a treble clef and a $sign intertwined. I, Logan Everett, take thee, Jackson Harlan, to honor and cherish, in melody and measure. Logan recited, voice steady, eyes locked. Jackson's vow choked him. I promise to be your audience, your anchor, through every crescendo and quiet. The kiss sealed it, tender, triumphant. As friends cheered, confetti swirling. Honeymoon in Napa. Vineyards rolling like emerald waves, cabins with fireplaces crackling. They hiked, tasted cabernets deep as regret, made love with the languor of survivors. This is us, Jackson murmured one dawn. Logan's head on his chest, the valley misted below. Unbreakable. Us? Logan echoed, fingers tracing the locket now worn daily. But marriage, like music, has its discords. Spring brought Logan's Vienna offer renewed 3 years with buyout clauses. It's not running, he assured Jackson over brunch in their new Brooklyn brownstone. A compromise on space. It's growing. For us. Jackson speared his eggs, appetite fled. And if the music swallows you? Like it almost did before. Logan's fork clattered. That's the betrayal talking, the one your dad planted. You think I'll leave like he forced me? Not think. Fear. Jackson shoved back, chair tipping. Every gig pulls you further. What's next? La Scala? And I'm the husband waiting in wingback. clipping coupons from the Times. Hurt flashed in Logan's eyes. You built walls around your heart, Jack. Billions can't buy trust. He stormed to the piano, slamming keys in a minor frenzy. Beethoven's Fury, apt. Jackson retreated to his study, dialing his therapist, a habit from post-coming-out days. It's like Millfield all over, he confessed. The boy's poison, Dad said. Now it's my own head. Sounds like projection, Dr. Reyes said gently. Love requires vulnerability. Lean in or lose it. He leaned, that night, finding Logan asleep on the couch, score crumpled under his cheek. Jackson covered him with a blanket, kissing his forehead. I'm trying low. For you. Reconciliation was slow. Therapy joint sessions where they unpacked the letter, the years. I forgive the ghost, Jackson told Logan one rainy afternoon, hands clasped across the coffee table. But promise no solos. Duets only. Duets? Logan agreed, sealing with a kiss that tasted of rain and renewal. Summer hummed with harmony. Logan's residency deferred. Instead, a joint project, composing for Jackson's foundation film on queer youth in the Rust Belt. They traveled to Ohio, Millfield a time capsule. Silos rusted, fields fallow, but progress peaked. Rainbow flags on porches, a new community center. Facing the quarry, hands linked, Jackson tensed. Here, where it started. And almost ended. Logan squeezed. But we wrote the next chapter. Locals recognized Jackson. The Harlan boy, big shot now, but warmth surprised. His old coach, out himself, clapping his back. Maud, ancient but spry, hugging Logan. Heard the music, boy. Proud. The betrayal's shadow lifted, but a new one loomed. Victor Lang, undeterred, leaked docs from the failed merger. Twisted to paint Jackson as unstable. Distracted by personal drama. Stocks dipped, sponsors wavered. Board meeting was a lion's den. Suits glaring, spreadsheets damning. This lifestyle, one codger spat. It's tanking us. Jackson stood, voice iron. My lifestyle built this fund. And if inclusivity's a deal breaker, doors that way. 3 walked. The rest stayed, chastened. Logan waited outside, script in hand. Heard the roar. Gladiator. Victor, Jackson quipped, pulling him into a cab. But exhaustion etched him. Sleepless nights, ulcers flaring. Fall deep in cracks. Logan's film score earned buzz. A Sundance slot. We're going, he announced, eyes alight. You, me, the whole shebang. Jackson forced enthusiasm, but envy gnawed. Logan's spotlight widening, his own dimming to husband. At a pre-premiere party, a producer cornered Logan. Solo tour? You're gold. Everett. Ditch the ball and chain. Logan laughed it off, but Jackson overheard, paranoia blooming. Home. Over Merlot. Solo tour? Sound familiar. Jack, it was banter. Logan's patience frayed. You're seeing threats where there are arias. Arias that end with you gone. Jackson's voice rose. Admit it. This marriage is your cage. Logan's face hardened. The scar of old wounds reopening. If that's what you believe, maybe it is. He packed a bag. Rehearsal excuse, but the slam echoed. Weeks of texts. Miss you. Space helps. Jackson threw into work, foundation expanding to Ohio outposts, but hollow victories. Dr. Reyes warned, betrayal's a cycle. Break it or repeat. Thanksgiving alone, Jackson drove to Millfield unannounced. The Harlan homestead sagged, his father Freilier, eyes milky. Son, he rasped, no embrace. Dad. Jackson sat, the check's ashes unspoken. Why? The letter. Logan. The old man coughed, confession wheezing out. Loved you too much to lose you to that life. Hired a man, frightened him off. Thought it'd save you. Rage surged, but pity tempered. You broke us, but I saved myself. No forgiveness spoken, but in leaving the Bible on the table, open to Corinthians, love's chapter, Jackson released the chain. Back in New York, he found Logan at the piano bar, improvising blues. Heard you went home, Logan said, not stopping. confronted the devil. Jackson slid onto the stool beside him and realized the real ones in my head. Lo, I'm sorry. The tours, the doubts. It's fear, not you. Logan stilled, keys silent. I packed because I was running from your pain, but I can't duet alone. He turned, eyes searching. Can we try? Really? Jackson pulled him close, the bar empty, world waiting. Every measure. Winter wrapped them anew. Therapy deepened, boundaries drawn. Tours capped at months, calls daily. Logan's Sundance win, best score. They shared on stage, Kiss broadcast live. A statement soft as snow. But climax brewed in spring. An envelope arrived, Ohio court summons. Logan's assailant. The man his father hired dead, while contesting assets, dredging the past. Testimonies needed. There's on the scare, the letter. Millfield Courthouse, May heat sticky. They stood side by side, recounting the threats, the flight. Jackson's father testified last, voice quavering. I was wrong. God forgives. So should I. Tears tracked his cheeks, repentance, late but real. Verdict. Assets to charity. Queer youth, irony poignant. Outside, reporters swarmed, but Jackson held Logan's hand high. Justice isn't revenge. It's healing. That night, quarryside bonfire, they burned the summons remnants. To ashes, Logan toasted with bourbon. To us, Jackson added, pulling him down. Firelight danced, promises renewed. Yet the trial's toll lingered. Logan withdrawn, keys untouched. It's like reliving the end. He confessed one night, rain lashing windows. Jackson held him. But we wrote the epilogue. Human, messy hours. Summer's heat wave baked the city, but their brownstone became a sanctuary. Air conditioning humming, windows open to fire escapes where geraniums bloomed defiant. Logan emerged from the trial's fog slowly, channeling it into composition. A cycle of pieces, fractured keys, premiered at a foundation benefit. Jackson watched from the front row, pride undimmed, the applause a shared victory. Life settled into a jazz scat, improvised, syncopated. Mornings. Coffee on the stoop, Logan's head on Jackson's shoulder, reading the arts section. Afternoons, Jackson at the fund, Logan teaching masterclasses at Juilliard. Evenings. Experiments in the kitchen, laughter over scorched paella, or slow dances in the living room to Coltrane. Anniversary approached. 1 year. A milestone marked with a trip to the Grand Canyon. Chasing horizons. Helicopter over the rim, vastness humbling. Bigger than our fights, Logan shouted over rotors. Smaller than our love, Jackson yelled back, squeezing his hand. Grounded, they hiked rim trails, dust-caking boots. At a overlook, sunset bleeding orange, Logan knelt. Not proposal, but gratitude. For seeing me, always. Jackson hauled him up, kiss salt-tanged. Ditto. Fall brought whispers of expansion. Logan's pieces optioned for Broadway, Jackson's fund eyeing a Rust Belt revival project. Collaboration beckoned. A musical on Millfield's hidden histories. Queer voices center stage. Rehearsals in a Soho loft, energy electric. Logan at the piano, Jackson producing, their synergy palpable. Castmates teased. You two finish each other's phrases, on and off stage. One night, post-run-through, over Thai takeout, the cast pressed. How'd you meet? Fairy tale. Logan glanced at Jackson, mischief sparking. More like a nightmare that dreamed us real. Laughter, but later, in bed, Jackson probed. Regrets? The what-ifs? Logan traced his ring. Only that we lost time. But humanism's in the mess, right? Loving through it. Through it, Jackson agreed, sleep claiming them twined. But betrayal's echo, faint now, stirred. Jackson's assistant flagged an email. Anonymous, pattern familiar. Link to a blog. Harlan's husband. The real story. Grainy audio, Logan, years back, in a Berlin interview. Love's fleeting in this life. I left mine behind for the music. Context. Post Elias, Pre-reunion, raw grief. But twisted, it painted Logan faithless. Jackson deleted, but poison seeped. At rehearsal next day, he snapped over a cue. Focus slow. This isn't amateur hour. Logan recoiled, hurt flashing. What's eating you? Nothing. Lie bitter. Home, confrontation. The clip played, accusations flying. You believe this crap? Logan paced, voice rising. It's ancient, Jack. I was broken then. But you said it. Jackson's fists clenched. Fleeting. Like us. Silence shattering. Logan grabbed his jacket. If you can't hear my music now, our music. Maybe the canyon was just a view, not a vow. Door slam, second verse. Jackson collapsed, calling Dr. Reyes at dawn. Cycle again. Help. Sessions double, she prescribed. And reach out. Vulnerability's the bridge. He did. Text. I'm scared. Come home. Let's duet. Logan returned at midnight. Rain-soaked. Eyes red. I hate this. The doubt. Me too. Jackson pulled him in, towels and tea. Play it for me? The truth. Logan sat at the piano, fingers tentative, then flowing. A new piece. Raw. Themes of fracture. Mend. Enduring bass line. This is us, he said, ending soft. Not fleeting. Jackson knelt by the bench. I'm listening. Promise. Winter holidays healed. Ohio visit. Father's health failing, but a truce. Dinner with Logan. Stories swapped haltingly. You chose well, the old man rasped, hand on Jackson's. No full absolution, but seeds. New year. Vow renewal, intimate, rooftop, stars witnesses. Through doubts, they added. Spring surged. Broadway buzz built. Opening night electric. Reviews raved. A triumphant queer odyssey. Harlan Everett's Love the Heartbeat. Standing ovation, Jackson beside Logan. Tears mingling. But climax crested in summer heat. Father's passing, quiet, bedbound. Jackson flew solo, Logan offering space. Millfield funeral. Sparse pews, eulogies wrote. Alone at the grave, Jackson unearthed the letter. Kept all these years, yellowed. Burned it there, ashes to wind. Goodbye, Dad. Thanks for the fight. Return brought Logan waiting at JFK. No words needed, embrace fierce. Proud of you, Logan whispered. You, Jackson replied. Fall deep in bonds. Adoption talks. Fostering a teen. Echoes of their youth. Our family, Logan mused, papers spread. Yes. Yet shadows lengthened. Logan's hands cramped. Carpal tunnel from years pounding keys. Diagnosis, surgery, rehab. I'll play again, he vowed, but fear-laced. Jackson cleared his calendar, physical therapy cheerleader. Duets wait. Months blurred. Casts, exercises, frustration boiling. One night, Logan hurled his brace. What if I can't? The music's me, Jack. You're more. Jackson held him through sobs. We'll compose new voice, maybe? Or silence, if it comes. Humanism's grace. Adaptation. Logan experimented, lyrics over loops, an album brewing. Jackson funded a studio, their haven. Winter release. Silent crescendos. Intimate venue. Logan sang, voice husky, heartfelt. Jackson harmonizing backup. Crowd wept. Connection visceral. Encore. Their sonata. Adapted, Jackson on a rented keyboard. Clumsy but earnest. Laughter, applause, love. Spring bloomed full. Foster kid arrived. Alex, 17, walls high but cracking. Family dinners awkward, then warm. You too. Real? Alex asked once. Real as rain, Logan grinned. Summer solstice. Wedding vow to Alex, informal barbecue. Promises of home. Jackson watched Logan with the boy, heart full. This was legacy, not empires, but echoes. But autumn winds carried a gust. Anonymous email again. Lang, unmasked, grudge eternal. Forged docs. Logan's embezzlement from an old gig. Slander to sink the album. Rage ignited. Jackson confronted. Office showdown. End it, Vic, or I expose your skeletons. Lang sneered. Love makes you weak, Harlan. Love makes me unbreakable. Proof emailed Lang's insider trades illegal. Feds tipped. Arrest on. Victory Pyrrhic. Press frenzy. But they weathered, hands clasped at pressers. Our story's not scandal, Jackson declared. It's survival. Logan, beside, and song. Winter's hush settled, the scandal's roar fading to murmurs. Lang's trial dragged, but justice ground slow. Guilty, disbarred. A footnote in their saga. Jackson's fund rebounded, stronger for the storm. Logan's album charted indie waves, tours intimate, Alex opening acts with guitar riffs raw as his story. Family wove tighter. Alex's walls tumbled over Thanksgivings. Turkey charred, tales traded. You saved me, he told them once, voice cracking. Like you saved each other. Logan ruffled his hair. Chain reaction, kid. Spring brought renewal. Alex's GED, college scouts buzzing. Pride swelled as they cheered his recital. Nerves jangling, but triumph in every chord. Summer road trip, cross-country, pickup echoing youth. Stops at diners, national parks, nights under endless skies. Full circle, Jackson mused. Logan's head on his lap. I-80 humming. Endless loop, Logan corrected, fingers laced. Fall harvest, Ohio Land Trust, Jackson's gift, foundation preserve for queer arts camp. Groundbreaking, locals, youth, his father's grave overlooking. For the boys we were, he toasted, dirt on hands. Logan added, and the men we became. Winter Gala, foundation's pinnacle, Alex emceeing, Logan premiering Legacy Lullaby. Ode to Roots, branches. Jackson, from podium, love isn't absence of betrayal. It's choosing, daily, through the thorns. Applause thundered, Logan's eyes his anchor. Years folded like measures. Alex off to Berkeley, visits holiday packed. Logan's hands healed, hybrid career, piano, production, mentorship. Jackson semi-retired, fund legacy secured. Writing memoirs ghosted by their duet. Silver threaded their hair by 50, lines mapping laughs and losses. Anniversaries. Canyon returns, Corey vigils, always vowing anew. One crisp October, Central Park bench, where they'd first danced post-reunion, Logan pulled an envelope. Read it. Inside, Logan's will. Assets to Alex, foundation. But a codicil. To Jackson. My heart, borrowed but never returned. Play on. Tears welled. Morbid. Practical. Logan leaned in. But truth. You never left my world. I never left yours. Jackson folded him close. Echoes eternal. Climax crested gentle. Logan's diagnosis, late, pancreatic, aggressive. 6 months, doc said, clinical. World tilted. Treatments blurred, chemo haze, Jackson's hand constant. Fight, he urged, but Logan smiled, weak. We did. Now, grace. Alex flew in, family vigil. Last recital. Bedside, Logan's fingers on Jackson's, humming their sonata. No betrayal, he whispered. Only love. Dawn took him, quiet as a fermata. Grief tsunami. Jackson adrift, penthouse echoey. Foundation faltered, but Alex anchored. He'd say duet solo for now. He did memorial concert, Lincoln Center packed. Jackson spoke. Logan taught me love's not possession. It's presence, enduring. Played their piece, notes cracking, crowd healing with him. Years on, Jackson mentored at the camp, Alex beside, now partner, father. Evenings, piano in the brownstone, Logan's ghost in every key. One twilight, Corey edge, Jackson scattered ashes. Waited? No, joined in spirit. Wind carried melody faint. Humanism's close. Not erasure, but echo. A rich man recognized a pianist, and realized first love never leaves. It lingers, in scars and songs, a crescendo infinite. Epilogue whisper. Jackson, gray but grinning. At Alex's wedding, Logan's score playing, eyes heavenward. Hear that low? are forever. And in the breeze, a note replied,